guys, it's Lauren with you here again today. Welcome back to Homeschool and Life. We're so happy to have you here again in this community, and we are really enjoying, Amanda and I are really enjoying this YouTube venture, and we're so glad that you have chosen to be here and watch this video with us. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you don't know who we are two homeschooling moms that do life together. We have a co-op together. We hang out in real life, in real time together, but we're also doing this little online venture, doing YouTube and Instagram, and thank you again for joining us, and we hope that you will subscribe and join our community here. And anyway, let's get right into the video for today. Today I'm going to be sharing some of our family's favorite read-alouds. Some of the read-alouds that we have done over the last several years. Some of these were from this year, but some of our all-time favorites. I just thought this would be a fun video to share with you guys. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna kind of categorize them by just my own categories. So the first ones are kind of just fun books that we have read as a family. Well, the kids and I mostly. Some of these we have read with my husband, but most of these are ones the kids and I have read for school, and these are just kind of categorized by younger years maybe. These books can definitely be read. I think all books can be read 0 to 100. I think that's kind of the, like what Lego says their toys are good for, and I kind of think that about books, about read-alouds. I think they can be good for all ages. I think they have something for everyone. But, you know, we kind of have read these with the younger kids, and some of these I'm rereading with my younger ones now. And then I have a category for some of our more historical fiction and just some fun ones for the olders that we've read in the past year or two. So starting off right off the bat, one of our favorites that our family really enjoyed is The Trumpet and the Swan by E.B. White. He also wrote the, oh my goodness, what is it? Charlotte's Web. Charlotte's Web, and the other one is, I'm blanking right now. Anyway, E.B. White, awesome writer. We loved this book. I know people have differing opinions on it. My kids really enjoyed this, and it's a family favorite. It's about a swan that can kind of communicate, and he goes out into the world. He has this boy, obviously, is in there. It's set in Canada, and then he goes out into the city and the world, and he plays his trumpet, and he just has a lot of fun encounters and things like that. So, a great book. We love this. Stuart Little is the other book by E.B. White. Stuart Little, Charlotte's Web, The Trumpet of the Swan was our personal favorite out of the three. Another favorite for the younger years that we read was The House at Pooh Corner by A.A. Milne, is how you pronounce it, I believe. It's a Winnie the Pooh book, obviously, and we have a few of these, but this was one I read with my younger three in recent years, and they loved this book. They sat through it, they were intrigued by it, and out of the Winnie the Pooh books, I think this one is my favorite. I believe this is the one where Tigger is introduced into the story, so they love that. Another one for the youngers, Mrs. Piggle Wiggle. Just a funny, silly read. My kids have enjoyed it. We have Mrs. Piggle Wiggle, more Mrs. Piggle Wiggle, and then there's like Mrs. Piggle Wiggle on the farm, or Mrs. Piggle Wiggle's farm. There's a few different ones, but just a funny, lighthearted read that definitely intrigued my kids. Another one we have read, sorry, these covers, I tend to thrift books, so, you know, it's taped and just holding on for dear life, but this is Homer Price by Robert McCloskey, and another silly, very similar to Miss Piggle Wiggle. It's about a boy in a town, and just all the silly, funny things that happen in this town, and my boys really loved this book. They really enjoyed it. I'm not sure that, I don't think I read this one with my daughter. I think it was with my with my boys, and they really like that. And then, of course, if you're going in the silly category, you can't forget The Worst Christmas Pageant Ever by Barbara Robinson. This is a family favorite that we have reread many times, about the herdsman family and a little small town Christmas play. Hilarious. I won't give it away. It's a great book. And I think they have another one, The Worst School Year Ever, that we have not read yet, and that is on my list to be read. But those are some of our family favorites in that category. Now moving on kind of into the historical fiction world. We've done a lot of American historical fiction. These have been some of our favorites. I don't know, there's a lot of good literature during this time period. And so one of the first ones that we really enjoyed was Walk the World's Rim by Betty Baker. This is actually from the Sunlight reading list is where I got this, and we love this book, and I cried in this book. It's a good story, and my kids, they were, intrigued by it. They listened, and we read through this really quickly. It's the beginning of like exploration in the New World in the North American continent, and kind of the beginning of that. So Walk the World Rim, a great book. Another one is Ben and Me by Robert Lawson. This is a pretty easy read. This could definitely be like just a kid's reader, but we read it aloud and my kids really liked it. It's about a story. It's a story of Benjamin Franklin and a mouse that lives in his home or in his workshop area. And I believe Disney even did a movie of this, and I remember it as a child, like just kind of a recreation of this book, and it's told from the Amos the mouse perspective. So another fun book that we have enjoyed. Okay, this one might have to be our family's all-time favorite read aloud for now. I'm sure there will be more books come through, but this is one of our family's all-time favorites. I'll say that. Johnny Tremain by Esther Forbes. We have went through this book, I believe, twice now, and we love Johnny Tremain. A great story about early American Revolution time. So just follows the story of Johnny and he's a silversmith, and so we've had a lot of good co-ops. I think Amanda and I have talked about that, activities that we've done to go along with this book. A great read aloud. Definitely recommend. Another one that we've read is Justin Morgan Had a Horse by Marguerite Henry. She also wrote Misty of Chantigua. We've read that one as well. This was a good one, just kind of the story of how the Morgan horse came to America. And so my boys, well, all my kids really liked this book. So this was another family favorite. And kind of to end on, well, no, actually I have another one I'll say. Caddy Woodlon by Carol Rybrink is a great American history read aloud. We liked this. It kind of has the feel of like Little House on the Prairie, which Little House on the Prairie is obviously a great series. We've read quite a few of them as a family. I don't think we've read the whole series, but we love those books, so I'll definitely mention that. Little House in the Big Wood, Little House on the Prairie, Farmer Boy, the Plum Creek, the House of Plum Creek, or that is some of the ones that we have read. We love those. And this definitely has that feel. It's a family set in Wisconsin, and it is, I believe, I can't remember if it's right before or right after the Civil War. Around that era. I might be wrong, so don't take my word for it. We did just read this year, but again, it was our second time through it. So it's the story of Caddy, her brothers, and their life in the frontier area. So another great read aloud. And this one, I guess, would kind of be in my older category. I think it's a great, like, a whole family read aloud. Cheaper by the Dozen, by Frank Gilbreth and Ernestine Gilbreth Carey. They're the children. So it is actually a biography of a family, the Gilbreths family, but it's written more in a story form. So this is a favorite we loved this book. We really enjoyed it. My kids were begging me to keep reading it, and so this was a first for me. I have read the book in the past and watched the old movie that is more true to the book. I owned it, and I loved it, so I was not surprised that my kids enjoyed it too. And then we watched the movie afterwards, and it didn't take us very long. I think we read this book. I mean, it's definitely a small book, but smaller print. I don't even know if it took us about a week, maybe a week and a half, if I'm remembering correctly. And we loved it. So, along in a little bit older category, I would say this is good for the whole family, but my older kids definitely enjoyed it, was The Hobbit by Tolkien. We've read the Lord of the Rings series as well, but my kids seem to like The Hobbit better. My husband actually read this book aloud. We read it as a family, but he did the reading, and it was a family favorite. I mean, can you go wrong with Tolkien? So it will be read again, I'm sure, in our home. It has been read by children individually as well, but definitely a whole family, older kids read. So these are a few books that go along the lines of, I would say, the biographies, and then of course we have Pilgrims Progress. This is the Little Pilgrims Progress, and my husband read this to our children years and years ago by Helen Taylor. It's a I guess an abbreviated version of John Bunyan's classic. My kids enjoyed this book. It's a really great read. I know they've come out with some more recently that kind of an abridged and abbreviated version of Pilgrim's Progress, but it breaks it up in to smaller chapters, and he is a boy in this, not a man per se. I think it's, you know, it comes from a child's perspective. So this is a great read aloud as a family, younger to older, kind of geared more towards the younger years. And lastly, some biographies by the YWAM Publishing that we have enjoyed through the years. We've read several of their books. These are great for all ages, and they are by Janet and Jeff Binge, I think is how you say their name. This is Gladys Allward. I will tell you that I cried in this story. I had heard this story. I had read her biography. I've watched the movie rendition of her life, and I love this book. It was a good story. And then, of course, Jim Elliot, also tearful. You know, he died by the hand of the Inca or Indians, and so we read this. We also have read Elizabeth Elliot. We've read several other missionary stories, and these are just great stories to read as a family, to as a Christian family, that we just prioritize reading the character and the I guess another word would be strength that these people showed. And I think it's a great thing to read biographies. It's challenging for your kids to look at another person's life and be challenged, I guess you could say. So these are just a few of our family's favorite read-alouds. We have read many, many more, but I just wanted this to be a quick, easy video for you guys to watch and see and maybe get some ideas from. So thank you for joining me here today. I hope that you were encouraged, and I hope you got some good ideas for maybe some read-alouds for your family as well. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We would love to see you here with us in this community more and more, and leave a comment and tell me what your favorite your favorite read aloud is as well, that your family has done, or even you personally have read. And we will see you here again soon. Bye guys.